Today, I want to redefine the concepts of good people and bad people from the most straightforward, bare-bones perspective. At its core, a good person is simply someone who's selfish in a clever way. On the other hand, those we consider bad are just people who are selfish but clumsy about it. Most people tend to think that being selfish is something only bad people do. But the truth is, every living thing is selfish. Everything in the world has a tendency to look out for its own interests. It's just part of survival instinct. Nothing inherently bad about it. Everyone is selfish, but if we really want to redefine good and bad, we need to add two keywords: clever and clumsy. If someone is selfish but clever about it, they're seen as good. If they're selfish in a clumsy way, society labels them as bad. A prime example of bad people in society is criminals, people in prison for things like fraud, robbery, or assault. All these actions stem from the same motivation: personal satisfaction driven by greed. That greed could be for material things, desires, or even status. But here's the thing: greed itself isn't wrong or bad. It's a natural part of being human. The reason these people end up as criminals isn't because they were greedy, it's because they were greedy in a clumsy way. Clumsy here means they only focused on satisfying their own needs without considering the needs of others. As a result, their actions ended up hurting people or damaging the environment. They broke the rules of society and culture, which is why they were punished. On the flip side, there are people who are just as selfish, but they're seen as good because they're clever about it. Take the example of great women throughout history who are admired worldwide. They were selfish too. They did things for their own purposes, but they were smart enough to turn those personal goals into something beneficial for others. They didn't just make themselves feel good, they made the people around them feel good too. So, at the core, these people were selfish in a clever way. They understood that being good doesn't mean sacrificing everything for others. Instead, they found ways to satisfy their own needs without causing harm to society or the environment. They followed the rules of the community and respected the universal laws that can't be broken. In the end, the difference between good and bad boils down to cleverness versus clumsiness. What's seen as good today could easily be considered bad tomorrow. Everything is constantly changing. For example, something that seems right in one situation could be totally wrong in another context. That's why you shouldn't get too stuck on rigid logic. If you break the rules or go against the values of the community you belong to, you'll be seen as bad. It's that simple. So, if you want to truly understand the essence of good and bad, just remember, being selfish isn't something to be ashamed of, as long as you're clever about it. There's a Buddhist teaching that fits perfectly here. Benefit yourself, benefit others, and benefit all beings. But here's the tricky part. Figuring out what benefit really means takes wisdom and clarity. Without enough awareness, you might think you're helping someone, but end up hurting them without even realizing it. Many of the most basic concepts in life aren't fully understood. That's why I want to redefine things from the root, so we can truly understand and apply them in a way that makes life better. It's still me, philosophy, who specializes in talking about the bare truths of life.